Hi guys! This month, October, I have been participating in 31 Minutes for 31 Days with Kelly Winnell. I will link her blog post down below that tells you all about it. If you aren't already doing it, I don't see any reason why you couldn't join in at any point. It literally is just about spending 31 minutes for 31 days doing something for yourself. So what I have been using this time for is just to play, and I am playing in a mini pocket page notebook from the Stamp Swap. And although what I enjoy most about this project is that it's just 31 minutes of non-pressured, non-filmed creative play for me, I was about to sit down and do my 31 minutes for today, and I thought instead of doing that alone, I would put the camera on and film it for you guys. So I thought before we do that, I'll give you a look at my book so far, and then we'll crack into it. So this is a mini pocket page notebook, and I just covered it with sparkly pink glitter contact paper. I'm pretty sure this came from Kmart, and a huge roll of it may well have been like $2 or something ridiculous like that. It is completely non-shedding, it's almost smooth, and it may be my favorite glitter product in the entire world at this point. I use it whenever I can. So apart from covering the notebook, that was pretty much all I've done. So each day that I work on this project, I am stamping the date in here, and I'm hoping that I can fit 31. I'm going to need to get a little bit less spacious here, I think. But this is just going to be the opening page. You know, in my notebooks I have been stamping a start and finish date, and I thought instead of just starting the 1st and the 31st of October, I would stamp every day that I actually worked in the book. So my pages aren't necessarily always double spreads, as you'll see, but this first one was. I think this project is really great for me. I get to play, experiment with different ideas and supplies, and I also get to use up photos. So I've got a little basket. I'll insert a photo here that I just keep on my desk, and I filled it with products that I want to use and misprinted photos or photos that never quite made it into my project life album. I am printing as I go if there's a particular photo on a particular day that I want to work with, but otherwise I keep everything in my basket on my desk so that I can just open the book and have a quick play whenever I feel like it. So this was my first page, and it was because I had my oh, is it called Caffeinated? I can never remember, from Feed Your Craft. It's one of my favorite stamp sets ever. I had that out, and I really wanted to try something a little bit darker. This page is a little bit darker. The photo was quite dark, and the white stamping worked out really well, and then from there I just went on carrying with that sort of darker black theme, and I did manage to stamp onto this matte black paper with my Moonlight White ink, and it is a little bit ghosty. I find it really hard to stamp white on anything other than photo paper, but this one worked not too badly. I recently joined Victoria Marie on her Patreon page. I highly suggest you do. It's a great way to support crafty people, crafty artists who spend their time creating content for you, and I love everything that she does. So I joined up as soon as it was open, and this was a page for a challenge that she had hosted for her members over there, which was literally, I just grabbed my hexagon punch and punched out a whole pile of scrap papers, and I filled up this page. I wasn't sure what I was going to put in the pocket, but I decided I didn't actually want to cover this up because I loved the way it turned out so much. So in the pocket I added a few more hexagons just to tie the two pages together, and a photo, and really all I've embellished it with is a couple of black sequins. This page here, this is one day. You can see this pocket is see-through. So on the first day I stamped out my quote and just added a couple of doilies into the pocket with an Instax photo. And then on the next day I added another Instax photo into the back of here. It's in the exact same place, so that was a little bit of a cheat day. Not really a cheat day. I don't give myself any rules for this project at all. I literally am not setting a timer for 31 minutes, so I think this page may have taken me 4 or 5, but my goal is to do something fun and crafty every day. Whether that takes 31 minutes, whether it takes 3 minutes, or whether it takes a couple of hours. This is how I'm classifying my project. So this page was just a piece of pattern paper stuck down, a label, a stamp, and some stickers. So you can see it didn't take long. Don't think there's any rules for how long things have to take here. For example, this page here actually covered probably 2, maybe 3 days worth of time here. The first day I made these little mini circle embellishments. Well, one was mini, one was fairly large, and I do have another one elsewhere that I didn't use in the book. These are inspired by I Am Absolutely Alice over on Instagram. And they are filled with this really beautiful sequin mix from the sequinologist. So the first day or 2 I was putting together these little embellishment circles, and I didn't know whether I was going to use them in my book or not, but I was inspired by her, so I sat down and used the 31 minutes for that instead of the page. And then the next day I worked out I probably can use these in my book. They're not too fat, they've got a couple of sort of larger chipboard embellishments on them, but they do fit in here all right. So all I added was a photo and a few splatters around the page just to sort of tie the 2 pages together, and I'm really loving how it worked out. So this is again another point for this, is to play and experiment with different ideas and see what works and what doesn't. Again, these are some really simple pages. So this is a quote that I had found on Instagram, and I just printed it out and stuck it on a piece of pattern paper with some alphas, and I called it good for that day. And same with the day after that. It had been a busy week, so this was about as much time as I had. I printed a photo, stuck it on some pattern paper, and added some stickers. So again, not giving myself any rules. This page looks super simple, but it did actually take me quite a while. Alice from I Am Absolutely Alice, again, sent me some happy mail, and it sits on my pinboard in front of my desk, and I was inspired to have a go and see whether I could recreate something similar in my notebook. So I figured it was just sort of an edge punch with rainbow paper and some stickers on top. So that's what I had a go at. And this is what I came up with. It's a slightly more subtle colour scheme. I just went through my bin of scrap papers, found out anything that was sort of wide enough to fit down the page, and started punching some edges and then just glued them in. So my page isn't stitched like hers was, it's just glued down, and I really loved it so much. I was going to use it as a background for a photo or something, but in the end I love it just the way it is, so I added a few alpha stickers and called it good. And I was just slightly careful to make sure that this side of the page worked in terms of colour scheme. So I picked up this yellow pattern paper just to tie in some of the tones on that side. So I think as a whole it works together, despite the fact that it was done on different days. Back to a 2-page spread, having a little bit more time, but again it's super simple. It's just pattern paper and a photo, but I wanted to make a list of some of the podcasts that I listen to at the moment because I work from home, I work alone, so podcasts are a godsend for me, really. They definitely help me feel less alone during the day, and the headphones, the new wireless headphones I got, definitely help distract from some of the other noise around the neighborhood while I'm working. So this was a fun page to put together, and I finally got to use up a few more of these puffy stickers from Paige Evans. Just a fun, colourful page. And then back to super simple again. Again, I found another quote. This was actually a memory that had popped up on Facebook that couldn't possibly have come at a better time. It was obviously something I felt was important back then. I think it might have been like 4 or 5 years ago, and it was completely relevant to how I was feeling in a conversation with a friend that I was having that day. So I decided that was definitely important enough to pop in the book. And again, it's just a photo I printed out. It's stuck down on pattern paper, and this was a chipboard frame, but I pulled the back of the chipboard off, so it's just left the card and stuck that down. So today I want to create a page with this photo here. This is one of the areas of our house that we've actually finished. I don't know if that's the right term, but I've finally got it sorted, and the sunlight that streams through this door just makes me happy on a daily basis. So I really want to document this photo. I kind of want to make it a 2-page spread though, so I think I'm going to skip this page, and I can always go back. I'm not worried about any sort of chronological order, so I think I might end up putting it on this page here because I really want to have the photo in a pocket with some sequins, of course, but on the right hand side. So let me grab some stuff and then we'll get into it. So I grabbed out a few bits and pieces that I thought coordinated with my photo, and you'll see I'm going to end up going quite subtle, well, as subtle as I go really with colour. I had grabbed these sequins. The sequin mix was from the Stamp Spot, and I want to put just like a little strip of sequins underneath my photo. So the photo is quite neutral. Our house is quite neutral, shockingly enough. And so I grabbed out these sequins because they were quite neutral. There's a wood grain and some white, but there is a little bit of mint reflect on some of those sequins. So I also grabbed some mint, just a piece of scrap paper that was sort of a minty color that I'm going to use. And I had grabbed some foil washi tape as well. So I put all my sequins into the bottom of my pocket, and I'm just using my fuse tool to fuse them so they won't fall out and they won't come up onto the photo. I didn't quite get the photo trimming right, so I just need to trim a little bit more off, and that's that whole right page done. I'm trimming my paper so that it's the same width as the page, and now I'm just going to mark it so that the strip that I'm going to glue down here is the same height as the strip with the sequins in it. Now all of this is to try a technique that I saw Banana Fish Studio share on Instagram, which was to use a metal die like this with some washi tape to kind of make a dip dyed look. She used alphas. I'm just going to use this Happy Word die. This is super old. I honestly have no idea where it's from. I suspect it might be a Heidi Swap one, but I couldn't be sure. So I'm just running a few strips of this foil washi, which I grabbed super cheap from the warehouse, and I'm going to place my die sort of halfway down the foil, so the top half is just going to be paper and the bottom half will be on foil. So I wanted to check that when I lined this up it was going to fit, and it didn't quite fit on the page, so I needed to move it up just a little bit more. I'm using a little bit of tape to hold my die in place so I know it's in the right place, and then I just ran that through my Cuttlebug. It cuts out fine with the foil tape on it, not a problem. And then once I pull that out of the die and pop off all the little extra pieces, I'll have my title for this page here. And I really love the effect, and if I did it again I would use probably one colour of tape rather than the stripes. It sort of distracts from it, but this is what this book is for, to learn what I do and don't like. I'm just using a glue pen and dotting a few little dots onto the back of this die. The word is quite thin, so it is a little bit harder to attach there. And this is definitely one for tweezers, because what I want to do is line up the top of the washi strip with the top of my paper. So anything that's above the strip of paper will be the same color as the paper, and anything below it will be the shiny washi. It's probably more effective in real life than it is on video here, but I really love the effect. So you can see how easy it is to squeeze a little bit of crafty time into your day. Like I said, I will leave the blog post, the link to Kelly's blog post down below in the description box. And if you aren't already joining in this project, then do check it out, because I don't think there's any reason that you couldn't start now. If you are joining us on this project, then let me know down below what it is that you're spending your 31 minutes doing. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you want to keep watching, there's a couple more videos on screen. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye!